Adam, what are you hoping that Joe Flacco provides this offense?
That leadership, veteran leadership. He's able to make all the throws. I mean, the guy's going to be 65, 70 years old, wake up and still be able to throw the ball the way he does. I mean, it's just so natural. He's been in different offenses. We've both been in the West Coast offense before, so they're all the same plays, just different terminology. The progressions are pretty much close to the same. It's just figuring out what he likes throughout the week and getting him ready for Sunday.
All right, so Flacco started 8 games last season for the Denver Broncos. Let's take a look at a few of his plays.
This first one, this is a good example of this is what the NFL is now. Is third down. It's all about third down. It's the looks that defenses give you. What Oakland's trying to do is they're trying to give the illusion, hey, you don't know where the pressure's coming from. They got everybody up in the line of scrimmage. They got 2 linebackers up in the A-gaps. They could overload pressure this way. They could overload pressure this way. They could bring these guys up the middle. You just got to have answers for all this stuff. They end up bringing the 2 inside backers and the defensive tackles, and they drop both ends. So this is always kind of worst case scenario for you, and you got to have an answer for it. You got to know where to go with the ball.
The thing that stands out to me, if you study the tape on Flacco, he is so calm in the pocket, no matter how many rushers are coming.
I mean, playing Joe as many times. I mean, I've been on the other sideline quite a bit. There's not much that rattles this guy. I mean, I saw this guy in a playoff game be down a touchdown with 30 seconds left and throw a 75-yard bomb for a touchdown to tie it up and send it to overtime. So, I mean, Joe is, he's always been like that. That was his MO coming out, where he's flatlining the aspect of nothing, no situation's too big for him. He's ice cold as you get. And you can see here, like Joe moves. He's a sneaky athlete. He moves a little better than what people give it credit for. Here running a boot to the left, throwing the over route.
Degree of difficulty on this throw is up there.
Yeah, this is not easy for anyone. When you're rolling to the left and you got a defender in your face, especially a guy of this caliber, and you got to throw a good ball out in front. And it's a good job of you can see here he tries to make it one motion where he just pulls and throws, and that allows him to keep his velocity and accuracy.
What about his accuracy with the long ball? We see it here against the Raiders in week 1. Does a nice job stepping up into the pocket, and he's on the money to Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, I mean, this is unfortunately I've been on the other end of these too many times, but this is one of those deals this is not as easy as you think when you're completing balls down the field, whether the guy's wide open or not, to hit a guy in stride and give him the opportunity to run with it, and stepping up in the pocket, feeling that rush coming, doing a good job of making sure safeties aren't getting involved. I mean, he throws a dime here. You'd hope he'd score here, but sometimes that baseball field didn't always work with you.
So here's a red zone situation, and he rifles it in there.
This is experience right here for you, where when you get in the red zone, these windows close extremely fast, and you can see when he throws this ball, the ball's already out. Emmanuel's barely coming out of his break, and the ball's in the air. He puts exactly where he needs to put it, in between those 2 defenders. He's seeing where the ball should go, and he puts the ball where he knows the receiver's going to be and not where he's at.
How much of that is pre-snap recognition, and how much of that is after he actually gets the ball in his hands?
Pre-snap, he probably had an idea what was going on, and then, once he took that first step right here, he knows exactly what the coverage is. You can see where his eyes, right when he hits his back foot, eyes are over there, and he's planting, he's throwing.
That's one thing this team has to do, is convert in the red zone with the chances, because you guys have been moving the football of late.
Yeah, it's the red zone. Let's just get the ball to the open guy. Everything is fixable for sure. But we got opportunities, and we just got to finish the plays. I mean, we got guys open. We got holes there. We got things that are happening that are positive. We just got to finish the play.
On the positive side of the ledger, you're starting to get some of your skill position guys back, but it's ironic now that you're going to your backup quarterback. Jeff Smith, Jamison Crowder last week. What did you think about their production?
Yeah, it was we were kind of joking about the fact that Jeff had played 1 game for us, had 1 catch. And I basically went into this game, and a couple of the older guys were like, "Wow, you got a lot of confidence in this guy." I'm like, "Yeah, we've seen him play enough in practice and training camp to think he can do some things. It was just all about whether or not when we got on the field and the lights were on, how he was going to be. And he brings some juice, man. He's got wiggle and he creates separation at the top of his routes. He's the one guy that we got that's wired to separate at the top for sure on the outside.
Adam, what have you thought of Kyler Murray here early in his career?
The way that he not only throws the ball, runs with the ball, he knows this offense in and out. Obviously, this is what he did in college. This guy has all the throws. He understands, like here, this is a good example of how he back shoulders the guy. He knows there's the defender on the other side. He slows up the tight end. So now this guy knows, hey, I'm going to go where the ball takes me. So he back shoulders him. Now the guy turns and pulls to the left and gives him an opportunity not to get hit by this corner.
What does the play action do to the linebacker right there? Because it seemed like he froze and then Dan Arnold just took off behind him.
Well, watch the offensive line. The right side is more pass setting, but see how the center comes off the ball? See how he's kind of going flat? He's making it look like it's going to be some kind of zone read deal, possible RPO.
What are the rules for a defense against the RPO?
What makes it effective is what you see a lot of times is it's these tackles will go out and they'll actually block the end. Where like when you run zone read, okay, everybody's working this way and then that guy gets booked and the quarterback's going to read a guy like that. Okay, when you're talking about RPOs, everything looks like the pass. And what they do is now they just change who they're not blocking. So they'll go to all these same guys here and here, and this will be the free guy. So what happens is there might be something behind this to where if this guy steps up, they throw this. If this guy stays here and he takes this throwaway, now all of a sudden they run the ball and this guy's got a nice clean lane. Okay, that's what makes it hard is because it looks like the pass because that tackle goes out and blocks the end. So that's the difference between an RPO and a zone read scheme is you're putting a different guy in a bind. So here, this is a straight play action, okay? And you can see the line's giving away, hey, it's not run. This is what makes this guy extremely scary because if you don't do a good job with your rush lanes, if you don't box this guy in, you got to try to keep this guy in a phone booth, which is extremely hard. Okay, if you get one guy that's out of sort, so if you have a whole bunch of guys, you got two guys here that are collapsing down, and you leave this much field open for this dude, he's going to cause problems. And the last thing you want him doing is getting on these dudes. So what you try to do is you hear this all the time. You hear people say, hey, set the edge and things like that. Okay, you want to create this right here and keep him in this area. If you do that, that allows you to collapse the pocket. Now you can try to use the fact that he's not a tall guy to your advantage. But the hard part is keep doing that because he can find lanes inside and still cause a problem. I mean, this has to be the ultimate, hey, these four dudes have to do a great job of working together. And then, adding one of the best receiver, if not the best receiver in the NFL is always a plus.
What makes Hopkins so special? Every time I watch him, I'm looking at his hands, and he's such a physical presence.
His ability to track the ball down the field, make the tough catches inside. He can run every route in the book. His speed is off the charts. He's got really good quickness. I mean, he checks every box as far as a wide receiver, and he checks every box in the top 5 categories of this league.
Yeah, last week it seemed like the Cardinals were going to a horizontal passing game, but they can get it down the field. Larry Fitzgerald's still there, Nuke Hopkins, here's Christian Kirk on the outside, and Murray is a guy who can beat you from the pocket and then get outside the pocket, and the accuracy stays.
Yeah, there's not a whole bunch that he doesn't have the ability to do. It's just all about how do they want to attack you. They're gonna find the right way to attack you. They're gonna have their tempo stuff. I mean, there is gonna be some times where you see them going extremely fast and working up tempo and trying to make it hard on the defensive coordinator. It's not a lot of different stuff, but it looks different. It's a tough offense to play. Cliff knows it well. He played in it. he can make it very difficult on defense coordinators. And now that you got, one of the elite receivers in the game on the outside, when you get your one-on-one matchups, you got somebody to throw to. And
how does this team get over the hump this week?
We got to take it one game at a time. I mean, that's the biggest thing for us. Like, you start worrying about, hey, what are we going to be in 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 7 weeks? You can't worry about that. You got to worry about one game at a time, one day at a time for us right now, and put a good week of practice together. Make sure that when the work that we put in all week, the outcome will take care of itself if we do things right.
Do you wipe it clean? It's the start of the second quarter here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, every week you have to wipe it clean. If you're focused on what's happened in the past, or you're looking in the future, like you're not focusing on the present. That's really the biggest thing that we talk to our guys about is, be where your feet are. Just focus on the here and now.